Hello everyone, I am Kiran Joshi. Hope you all are doing well. Today we'll learn the third chapter, the Delhi Sultans of Class 7 History. Here's the second part of the chapter. In the previous presentation of this chapter, we learnt about the sources for Delhi Sultanate and its expansion from garrison town to vast empire. Now let's have a closer look at the administration and consolidation under Khaljis and Tughlaqs. To keep the vast Delhi Sultanate intact and united, it was essential that the governors and the administrators were reliable. So the early Delhi Sultans, especially Iltutmish, appointed their special slaves called Bandagan in Persian. These Bandagan were trained to control some important political offices. Sultan could trust and rely upon them because they were completely dependent upon their masters. The Khaljis and Tughlaqs also used Bandagan. The Khaljis and Tughlaq gave high political positions such as generals and governors to their clients also. Clients means someone who is under the protection of another. So here they were under the protection of the sultans. Though this policy also created political instability. The slaves and clients were loyal to their masters and patrons, sultans only, and not to their heirs or successors. New sultans had their own slaves and clients. Therefore, whenever a new king ascended the throne, the old and the new nobility, means slaves and clients of the old rulers and the new ruler, had conflicts. Raising the people of humble birth, clients of sultans, shocked many wealthy and powerful people, elite group also, as well as authors of Persian Tawarik. They criticized Delhi Sultan for appointing low and base born to high positions. Sultan Muhammad Tughlaq appointed Aziz Khummar, a wine distiller, Firuz Hajjam, a barber, Manka Tabbakh, a cook, and two gardeners, Ladha and Pira, to high administrative posts. Ziauddin Barani, a mid 14th century chronicler, uh, criticized their appointments by saying that it was a sign of Sultan's loss of political judgment and his incapability to rule. The Khaljis and Tughlaqs appointed military commanders as governor of territories. These territories were called Ikta and their holder was called Iktadar or Mukti. The Iktadars or Muktis had to lead military campaigns and maintain law and order in their Iktas, and in exchange or in return they collected the revenue from their territories as their salary. They also paid their soldiers from these revenues. But Mukti's posts were not inheritable and they were assigned Iktas for short period of time. Moreover, the accountants were appointed to check the amount of revenue collected by the Muktis. It was made sure that Mukti collected only those taxes which were prescribed by the state. It was also ensured that he kept the required number of soldiers. After bringing the hinterlands under their control, the Delhi Sultans forced the rich landlords, chieftains, and samantas to accept their authority. During Alauddin Khalji's reign, the assessment and collection of land revenue was controlled by the state. The rights of local chieftains to levy taxes were cancelled. Rather, they were forced to pay taxes to state. The sultan's administrators measured the land and kept land records. Old chieftains and landlords were appointed as revenue collectors and assessors. There were three types of taxes. On cultivation, which was called kharaz, it was about 50% of the peasants' produce. Second on cattle, and third on houses. We must remember that all regions of subcontinent were not controlled by the Delhi Sultans. Large part of the subcontinent remained outside their control. Provinces such as Bengal were distant from Delhi and were therefore difficult to control. After annexing southern India, the whole region became independent. Here you can see it in the map also, that the green portion was under Delhi Sultans. They annexed the southern part of India also, and the white portion which you can see in the map, this is the area which was or the region which was ruled by the independent rulers. There were large forested areas in the Gangetic plain ruled by local chieftains. So uh, Sultanate forces could not cross or penetrate these areas. Rulers like Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad Tughlaq could control these areas, but just for a short duration. How did the local chieftains fortify themselves is explained in Ibn Battuta's account. Ibn Battuta was a 14th century traveler from Morocco, Africa. He wrote that chieftains fortified themselves in mountains, in rocky, uneven, and rugged places, as well as in bamboo groves. In India, the bamboo is not hollow, it is big. Its several parts are so intervened that even fire cannot affect them, and they are on the whole very strong. The chieftains live in these forests which serve them as ramparts, inside which are their cattle and their crops. There is also water for them within, that is rainwater, which collects there. Hence they cannot be subdued except by powerful armies who, entering those forests, cut down the bamboo with specially prepared instruments. Now, the Mongols under Genghis Khan invaded Transoxiana in northeast Iran in 1219, and the Delhi Sultanate faced their attack soon after. These attacks of Mongols on Delhi Sultanate increased during Alauddin Khalji's rule and in the early years of Muhammad Tughlaq's rule. Due to such attacks, Alauddin Khalji and then Muhammad Tughlaq had to mobilize a large standing army, means a permanent army with paid soldiers. This created or posed a huge administrative challenge on Delhi Sultanate. Let's see how the dealing of this matter by the two sultans, Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad Tughlaq, was different from each other. First, let us compare the way they reacted the attacks on the Sultanate. During the reign of Alauddin Khalji, the Delhi Sultanate was attacked twice. First in 1299 1300, and second 1302 to 1303. Alauddin Khalji raised a large standing army to defend the attacks. While the Sultanate was attacked in the early years of Muhammad Tughlaq's reign, he not only defeated the Mongol army but also planned to attack on Zoxiana in northeast Iran under the control of Mongols. Therefore, he raised a large standing army. Another comparison can be done on the basis of making or building the garrison town. Alauddin constructed a new garrison town named Siri for the soldiers, whereas Muhammad Tughlaq ordered to get Delhi Kuhna, the oldest of the four cities of Delhi, emptied of its residents to garrison his soldiers there. The residents of Delhi Kuhna were sent to new capital of Daulatabad in the south. Next point can be about feeding the army. During Alauddin's reign, the peasants cultivating the land between the Ganga and Yamuna had to give 50% of their produce as tax. This produce collected as tax was used to feed the soldiers. Muhammad Tughlaq also used the tax collected from the same area to feed the army, but he levied additional taxes too to maintain his large army. The raised taxes were accompanied with famine in the area. Standing army means permanent army with paid soldiers. as I told you earlier. So the next point of comparison is the payment of a salary to soldiers. Salaries of soldiers in Alauddin's rule were paid in cash, that is gold or silver coins. The soldiers bought the things they required from merchants in Delhi. There were chances that merchants would increase prices of their goods. So, in order to avoid price hike, Alauddin controlled the prices of goods in Delhi. The merchants who did not sell their goods at prescribed rates were punished. Muhammad Tughlaq also paid cash salaries to his soldiers. But for this, he used token currency, that is, coins made out of cheap metal, not gold or silver coins. People did not trust these coins, so they acted smartly and started paying their taxes with these coins and saved their gold and silver coins. Another demerit of this currency was that uh, it could be copied and fake currency could be made. Now we'll compare the administrative measures by both the rulers. The administrative measures of Alauddin Khalji were praised by the chroniclers as he was able to maintain supplies of goods in the market at cheap prices. He successfully resisted the risk of Mongol invasions. While the administrative measures of Muhammad Tughlaq were considered a failure, his campaign into Kashmir was a disaster. He gave up his earlier plans to attack on Transoxiana and dissolved his large army. There was resentment due to shifting of people to Daulatabad. Moreover, the raising of taxes and famine in Ganga Yamuna belt caused widespread rebellion. And finally, the token currency had to be cancelled. But while considering Muhammad Tughlaq's measures a failure, we should also remember that he was the first Delhi Sultan who had planned to attack and capture Mongol territory. Alauddin Khalji's measures against Mongols were defensive, while Muhammad Tughlaq dealt with Mongols in an offensive way. After the Tughlaq, the Sayyid and Lodi dynasties ruled from Delhi and Agra until 1526. By 1526, in Jaunpur, Bengal, Malwa, Gujarat, Rajasthan, and the entire South India, independent rulers had established their uh, flourishing states and capitals. New ruling groups like Afghans and Rajputs emerged during this period. Some small but powerful, well administered states were established in this period. For example, Sher Shah Suri defeated the Mughal Emperor Humayun. He captured Delhi and established Sur dynasty. Though the Sur dynasty ruled for only 15 years, from 1540 to 1555, its administration was extremely efficient. Even the Mughal Emperor Akbar followed Sher Shah's model of administration. So, children, this is all about this chapter. Now, there are some questions for revision. So, the first question is, how was the administration consolidated under Delhi Sultans? Second, how did accession of a new monarch see conflicts between old and new nobility? Third, give an account of iqtadars or muktis. Fourth, write briefly about the invasion of the Mongols and its results. Fifth, what were the administrative measures taken by Alauddin Khalji to check the prices and supply of goods for his large standing army? That's all for this presentation. Hope you liked it and found it useful. Thank you, children.